children, today we are going to discuss about the poet Emily Dickinson, the theme of the poem and its question answers. About the poet. Emily Dickinson is a remarkably singular American poet. Her favorite themes include love, death, immortality, friendship, and nature. Theme of the poem. It is a poem about death. The poet looks upon death in a quite unconventional way. For every people, death is a terrifying experience. But here, for the poet, it's not a matter of terror, but means to be transported into the world of permanence. A small summary of the poem. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held just ourselves and immortality. Meaning, while she was busy with her activities, the death came and waited politely for her to come. She didn't wait for him, but the death waited for her. Here the death is personified as a man. Carriage means it's a chariot. The death rides the chariot, and there were 3 persons in the chariot: death, immortality, and poet. Next stanza. We slowly drove. He knew no haste. Haste means speed. I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. The poet entered into the chariot and it moved slowly. The death has no speed because now the poet's soul is under the custody of death. So he has no haste. And the poet gives up all her labor and happiness for the death's politeness. Here civility means politeness. Leisure means happiness, and labor means, we all know, it's work. Then shall we move to the next stanza? Okay. Next stanza. We passed the school where children strove. Strove means play. Play. At recess in the ring. Recess meaning interval. Ring. It's an open space. Open space. We passed the fields of gazing grain. Gazing grain. It's the ripe corn. Ripe corn. We passed the setting sun. So in this stanza, she discusses about the things that she see during her journey. And she saw a school and children are playing in the open space during the interval time. And she saw the fields which is filled with ripening corns, and she saw the setting sun. In this poem, she describes the beauty of nature. Next stanza. Or rather, he passed us. Here he means the setting sun. The dews grew quivering and chill. Dews, it's the snowfall. Quivering and chill, very cold. For only gossamer my gown. Gossamer means a transparent thin fabric used for clothing. My tippet. Tippet means scarf. Only tulle. Tulle, it's a thin fine net used for clothing. Now she has a confusion that if the sun passes her or if they pass the sun. So now the night time comes and it's very cold for her and she is wearing fine clothes. Next stanza. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice in the ground. They stopped at a house. It's actually the grave of the poet. Swelling means it's a projected part of the ground, but actually it's the grave. Last stanza. Since then, this centuries and yet feels shorter than a day. I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity. And now the poet feels the centuries shorter than a day. Why the poet feels like that? Because death never ends in the grave. It is a journey towards eternity. So there is no endings. If the centuries had gone, then also the poet feels that it's a shorter than a day. And now she is part of immortality and eternity. And now she has no days and hours. The eternity cannot be counted. It has no time significance. At last, we can conclude by saying that death is a journey towards eternity.